So I would like to start with the common answer that people give when you explain or you go into the discussion of the rigged system, the corruption that we have, or the inequality. Now, what usually happens is it seems like there's a reaction straight away that takes place, and what comes out of the mouth is, what can we do? Or things like, there's nothing we can do. Now, I think this question, or this answer, has a problem in itself because it's a decision that's been made. Somewhere along the line, the person that has this already made answer that comes out as a reaction is in a way already been accepted inside of them. And we need to understand that if we say, what can we do, and do nothing, and we can't do nothing, that means that we give full access and full power and full control to those that want to do something. And those that want to do something are usually the ones that have absolute power. So our inaction is an action. And we need to acknowledge this, because if we do nothing and we keep saying the same thing, what can we do? We're just going to allow them to do it and for them to build and create the future for our children. So for us to bring compassion, kindness, awareness to this reality, this shared reality that we live in, we need to be aware of our reactions, our natural responses. Firstly, do we understand that there's a collective struggle, and it's not his struggle, your struggle, their struggle. It's our struggle. It's a human struggle. Now, when we understand that and we stop dividing human beings from struggle, then we can begin to move beyond that separation, because really what happens is, through this separation, this way of seeing struggle, we limit ourselves from thinking for the collective. And we need people to think for the collective. We can't have people just think for the few or their own country. We need people to think of struggle as a universal thing, because it is really. It's a universal struggle that we all feel, we all go through, whether it's mental or physical. For us to progress as humanity, we need to understand how to deal with the problem and understand the problem, because usually the answer is within the problem. So if we have a problem with the way we view reality, the way we have this natural mindset of inferior and superior, we will begin to go beyond this narrow perspective. You see, we are not that different from each other. We just come from different places, and we need to understand that. And usually these different places, they have different ideologies, different beliefs, different opinions, different biases. And when we get that and we understand this, we can go beyond these ideologies that divide us. See, one of the reasons why the 1%, the rich, are so powerful is because we are so fixated in our own division that we spend more time arguing on primitive things that we can move beyond. And we never go beyond it when we're just arguing and fighting. Instead, we need to understand the actual problem. And it's a psychological one. It's a psychological limitation that we put on ourselves. So can we rise beyond this? Absolutely. So we need to begin to work together. We need to find a common place that we meet as human beings. It seems so simple, but it seems so difficult. If we put our differences aside, or at least understand our differences, then we can start trying to resolve the bigger problems in the world, the inequality that we're facing. You see, I meet many people that have certain narratives and opinions, and these narratives really hijack the best of the ability to do something. It's a mindset that they adopt, that they were inherited, and it hinders them for change in the world. And we need to bring change in the world. We can do this. It's just we are so stuck in this narrow perspective. So what are some of the things that people are stuck with? So there's this mindset that I hear quite a lot of, and it's we can't do nothing. It's a jungle. It's always been the same. It's always been a jungle. What we must do is find the great areas of life and keep moving, keep adapting. And when I hear this, I question this, because if that's what we're going to do, we're just going to keep finding the gray areas, the little safe areas that they allow us to be in for a temporary of time. Do we not see that eventually that gray area is going to be taken up as well? Because that's what happens when we do nothing. See, these people that usually say these things, they believe that life is for self-experience only. And when they are avoiding the big problems of the world and they just say, I'm okay, this is my experience, I'm feeling good, I'm okay, then they block out the collective problem. And really, we need these people to come out of their comfort zones and to understand that if we do nothing, it will eventually come to you. That's the truth. Because the inequality rise is increasing. The poor are getting poorer, the rich are getting richer. This is a fact. This is not a conspiracy. This is not a lie. This is the truth. So we need to really grasp this problem and start using this energy to bring more awareness to the majority so we can go beyond our differences and we can start to bring more focus to the division that's taking place. Because let's face it, the 1%, they have no limits. They believe they deserve everything they make, but how much they make is more than they need. And I have people, other guys, that usually argue for them and say, but who are you to tell them how much they need? Well, I mean, they have enough to live more than 1,000 lifetimes, some of them. So is that not more than they need? I think it is. It's just we argue for the wrong points. And what's happening? The amount they accumulate, the resources and wealth that they are taking is coming from somewhere. And it's coming from the lower end. And they have found loopholes. So we, the bottom half, could pay more tax so we can live at a basic level and we can't climb up. So we have an issue here. It's not nothing to avoid. We can't avoid it. We need to tackle this problem. We have these other types of mindsets as well. I hear that there's some people that think it's the poor's fault for not climbing up the ladder. See, this is another misconception. It's a big confusion as well. We can't blame the poor end for being poor. Now, of course, people have different drives within themselves. That's okay. But we can't take away the imbalance we have in the system. It's real. So while some people are making their own choices, we can also understand that there are some people that want to progress, that want to earn more, that want a future, but they simply can't earn more. They simply can't go towards a future. So it affects them. There's some people that work 2 to 3 jobs and they still just get by. Imagine what that does to the majority of people, knowing every month, every year, you're just working to get by. You're never progressing. You can't visualize a progressive future. You're just stuck with where you are, the same struggle. And if anything changes in that system, you lose a job or you're unable to work, imagine how much that affects these people. So we have to look out for them. And I'm talking about those that have come from the struggle, have come out of the struggle, still feels the struggle, but has a little more time to do something. I would say use that energy to reflect on the true struggles of our people, because I see these other types of mindsets as well that really talk down on the people on the lower end, even though they claim to have come from there. And I hear many people, they say they're weak, they're lazy, they're not working hard enough, and they have this judgmental perspective where they feel superior and the people at the bottom half is inferior. See, this is another confusion, another narrative that's out there. And this mindset is very heartless. They share no compassion for the shared reality of mankind. They only think about themselves. They care about self-image. They care about materials, cars, how good they look, flashing all the external factors that make them feel empowered. These things are temporaries. And while it seems to the younger guy looking at that, you may think that it's empowering, it's a future that you want, but it's very hollow and shallow. And I think it's important to understand that, because these people that are selling you that image, they are far from the true reality that we are experiencing as a collective. Now, I can see how difficult this may be to most of us, right? We are born into a system that is rigged, is corrupt, and is challenging. So you can see how some people are just attaching themselves to different ideologies. And in a way, it's a form of escaping this reality, the shared one where we feel the struggle. So it's understandable, but I want to just remind you that you have a power within yourself and you have a right that you need to understand you are needed for this movement. Because if you are literally going to wait for others to bring about this change, or to think that there is no such thing as change, remember, inaction is an action. And these guys, the 1%, will make these decisions for us if we do nothing. You're important and you need to understand that. So don't devalue yourself. We as a collective are even more powerful. We need to get this right. See, what is powerful is understanding that power is not within one man. It's not one man has the power. It's one focused, direct voice. And if we embody this movement together, we will bring change. No doubt about that. And we have people like Gary Stevenson's, for instance. He's an economist. He's trying to do everything he can. And his motto is tax the rich. Now, it's not as simple as that, of course. It's just, of course, a word, right? But in that slogan, the way is not for one man to achieve. It's for us to achieve it. So we need to understand that. We are powerful collectively. And when we put our skills and our talents and our creativity together, we can build something profound for the future, for our children. Think about it. Our children will have a challenging future ahead for our inaction. Imagine 20 years ago, you can be a milkman and get a mortgage in England. Now that's changed. That reality has gone. It's been taken from us. You need now 2 to 3 jobs to be able to maybe climb up the ladder. There's no guarantee anymore. And why is it so challenging for people to accumulate more wealth at the bottom half? Well, that's because the upper half have taken more than they need. We need to see that we share on this planet a big cake. And this cake, most of it has been taken up by the elite 1%. And they have found ways and loopholes to control what we see and what we hear to justify why they eat more of the cake. And we have good, intelligent people who are poor, who argue on behalf of the rich. It's only because they have been impacted by the narratives that the rich have portrayed. But it's a confusion and it's a way of separating ourselves again at the low end, at the poor end. So we need to figure this out. We need to find another way and we need to give people the hope that they need, because together we are powerful and we must not forget that. See, there's this beautiful understanding of philosopher king, and this comes from Plato. For as long as we don't have a philosopher in power, a man who seeks truth, a man that wants truth, we will continue with the same results. Corruption. We have people that want to benefit themselves and the hierarchy and the 1%. For as long as we don't have philosopher kings, we will continue to have this controlling and dividing and conquering. So we need to go beyond this. And if you are a truth seeker, you are needed towards this movement, towards humanity. And we can do this together if we understand the problem. We are all capable of doing this. You don't need the qualifications for you to bring an impact. You are the impact for as long as you have the eye to see the truth and the ears to hear it. And this is what a philosopher is. So in a way, we are all philosophers, but we need to bring this up to the higher end so we can bring some sort of change. I think we can do this, and I will do my best on my part. But remember, what I really want to promote is one voice. I don't care about self-image or this power that one person can have. I think we need to really go beyond that now, because we've seen in the past that it doesn't help us and we stagnate, and a leader can corrupt the followers and the followers can corrupt the leader. I believe we can do this, and I think we should go for it. Why not? See you soon.